Well, mine's been doing that a little bit, but I didn't know. Well,
Well,
yeah, no.
here's the problem: is I think 7 o'clock's a big time on the West Coast for people to start their streams. So when we start
Uh-huh.
at 9 or whatever, we're running into like
6.
that additional
Right.
bandwidth and that kind of stuff, and we'll be able to republish this video or whatnot, so it'll all come back
Yeah,
up.
no,
But
I ain't pressed. Listen,
no,
my
it's just
favorite is the
annoying.
audio anyway.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I don't really care about the video. I like the audio, Joe. But I guess the video you can come up with your analytics a little easier, huh?
It is, but we've got enough on Anchor now. We actually get decent analytics on Anchor too, so the
Oh, really?
podcast
Okay.
app. So I think we're
Okay.
back live. We'll see. Hopefully, we get folks to track us back down. I'm gonna repost the link real quick,
Yeah, handle your business.
and
And
uh,
for any that are wondering, I would wear the Do Fools Agree shirt, gang gang, but I have to represent for the ruling for Breonna Taylor.
amen.
You know what I mean? Until we get this period, we gotta do what we gotta do, G. I seen
And you're
somebody
right.
post a post on Facebook, and I'm gonna say I really wanted to like it, but you know how I am. Like I'm a off the grid kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of guy that I don't even like taking pictures because it tells someone where I
Where
was at
you've
that point.
been, right?
And it's not anything like I'm doing anything wrong. I just don't want I want to make it as hard as possible if someone is attempting to find me. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And I'm not saying that anyone would be, but in the event, it wouldn't be the wildest thing that's ever happened to me. So I like to kind of brush over my tracks, so to speak, just in general speaking, like not even with doing anything wrong. In
Right.
general, I'm not Hansel and Gretel. I'm not dropping
No
breadcrumbs.
breadcrumbs to
I'm
follow.
covering my tracks in the woods so you can't see which direction I went in.
I feel
Type
you.
shit.
Well, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, and I think you're right to do that, especially these days, man. And we've had the conversation around, being online at all creates a footprint, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they're just as easily tracking you through your cell phone and all that
Right.
shit. And at the end of the day, do you want the privacy or do you want the convenience? And
And see,
trust me,
that's the
there are
thing.
plenty of times where I would be happy to give up my phone, like
Oh, for sure. Oh, I'll jump back to a flip, and it won't really bother me
right,
because for the most part, is I'm not nosy. I don't really give a fuck what other people are doing to the point that I gotta check online to. But what I was saying was one of the people online said, "Listen to all the peaceful protesters who have been showing up over the past couple of months. You are very much appreciated." But now's the time for all of the people that support Martin to sit down and
and for the
everyone that
Malcolm to
supports
stand up.
Malcolm to stand up. And I agreed 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,010%.
Well, I think that this is just the latest example in a long line of, I won't call it acquittal, but that's kind of what it happened, right? Is that no chart, like the line that I saw was like, okay, so they got there was more done because they missed than because they hit in
Right,
terms of
right.
coming in firing
They
shots.
were charged. They
They
were
with
charged
like
for the
property
shots
damage,
missed.
right?
Right. Then, right.
And it's fucking
But I mean,
bullshit.
yeah, but we know it's fucked up, and we know we've heard it, and we've seen it, and we've been through it time and time again. You know what I mean? Some know the stories, some are just finding them out.
Right.
But the bottom line is, we're getting to a point where, like, it's not fuck the voting, fuck the system, fuck the structure, equality or extinction,
Yeah.
equality or extinction. And I just thought about it the other way. That would be the worst possible case scenario for the United States of America if there was. I know some people more than others are hoping that there was or is a civil war. But let's be honest, that civil war, whether you win or lose against black folks, definitely means the end of white folks as well.
Yeah.
Because we already got China knocking at our back door. You think if we don't go to a civil war, they won't be right over here with us?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Well,
That'll be the opportune time to strike, and I guarantee you someone as smart as China will.
and that's the thing is an American Civil War turns into World War III. Period.
Right,
Point blank.
right,
It just
right.
does. And if nothing
So,
else, it's to if nothing else, it's strictly to destabilize America as a superpower.
so I'm saying, as black people with that leverage, equality or extinction.
I mean,
Lives are going to be lost anyway. Might as well
you're
jump
looking
it
at.
off, and you know what I mean?
I mean, at that point, you're looking at mutually assured destruction, right? Like that's
Right.
the whole
So
nuclear
let's figure it
principle.
out. Let's figure it out, or we're going to see who stands after the whole world gets into it.
Right.
And I mean, that may sound like, one man as opposed to billions, but let's be honest. The whole world has injustices against colored people. Fuck them. We can all get into it.
Right.
We can all get into it and see who fares.
Well, that was Killmonger's message in Black Panther. Was
Hey, Killmonger, my ancestors, bruh. Listen, I don't know where the closest ocean is, but you can bury me in the dirt as well, sir.
Right.
Shit. It don't matter where I
Die
went.
free
How'd I
rather than
go?
live a slave, right?
How'd I go?
Well, I would
But
like to call out that I didn't take us down this trip for once. This was all you.
listen, well, it needed to be said.
I hear
felt
you,
like,
and I agree. I mean,
I felt like I couldn't have the podcast without saying her name at least once, just
Right.
because of all the shit that's going on. Even though it's a conversation, as you know, I hate having.
right.
I end up having it a lot, but because we had this conversation back when we first started as well. Back when all of the George Floyd shit happened. It's the tough conversations. It's the ones that you don't want to have that you need to have the most.
Absolutely. Well, and this goes back to our generation being raised to not talk about religion and politics. And what has it led to? It's led to a lot of disinformation on both sides, not just one side, both sides. And it's led to a lack of ability to have the conversation without bringing emotion into the fold. And once you
Right.
bring emotion into the fold, you're fucked.
Right. Period. Period. Point blank. You know what? With that being said, though,
What's that?
I was pleasantly surprised at the time that I had once we arrived at the range.
Yeah.
First of all, there's another black dude in there as well.
Okay. All right.
He was younger as well, and he was with another group of white people, which made me feel like, okay, so
So at least know you got some that
they're cool, right? At least
Right.
I know they're cool. Now I do know, and I don't know if Keo is listening, but I do know that we were definitely next to some people that kept looking at us out the side of our eyes. But you also got to understand that this is 3 young black guys with AR-15s. Like we brought
They're trying to figure out how you got so
all together.
armed.
We had 13 firearms out there.
Okay. Between the
And
3 of you?
between the 3 of us, and then we were with 2 older white gentlemen who are very cool. I definitely enjoyed meeting them, and I would shout them out, but I won't put your name out there. But it was just you could tell people wanted to know some things, you know what I mean? And you know what? Some of it is understandably too, because what you have to understand is blacks with firearms isn't it's a cliche thing, because they've made it so, what's the word I'm looking for? They made it to where if black and firearm equals criminal.
Well, yeah.
So to be honest, we're catching up to where white people are with firearm training, with all that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So understandably, I could see if you got some people in there that you haven't seen before, you would want to watch them a little closer for your safety.
But at the same
For your
time,
safety, though.
Yeah.
Because I've done that with other people in the range too, where it's like, regardless
you
of
can
your
tell
color,
they're new. The newbies.
you look a little green to me. I
Right.
need to make sure I'm behind this glass every time you step out from that firing lane.
Right.
Because I don't know if you know how to operate your firearms like that.
Well, and I don't know how serious you take it, right?
Right,
Like if you're dicking around and you do something stupid.
right,
Right.
right.
Now, the flip side of it is you really shouldn't be looking at anybody in terms of potential criminal at a range because
No.
you would have to think that they're there legally, right? Like,
Well, no, that's also not the case
okay,
because you don't do background checks at the range.
gotcha. All right,
So
so
you can be a
you don't
you,
know who's licensed or not at that point, or
right, right. I
okay,
mean, you can be a felon fresh out of jail and go to the gun range. You know what I mean? They're not gonna, they're not looking that deep into it. You know what I
gotcha.
mean?
Yeah.
It's the
They're trying
range
to get their
that you can
money and get
shoot.
out. Yeah,
Right. If you want to shoot, come shoot. But so I mean, I don't know exactly the rules and the regulations there, but all I'm saying is I have been in a situation where I was like, let me watch them a little closer. You know what I mean? I can't
yeah.
just focus on me shooting because they make me feel uncomfortable. So I don't know if the look was for that or if it was for black.
Right.
Either way, you know what I mean? I didn't have a problem with it. I completely understand how shit goes, so I'm not the type to
Yeah.
take shit to heart. You know what I mean? But I definitely. And then they were there. The funny thing is, this is how I know that they were there with their kids. And I don't mean like kids shooting. Like, yes, there was a little young man shooting who was probably like 12 years old, but then there was a little 6-year-old girl who was sitting playing in the dirt. And the mom was sitting back in a chair behind the dad and the son shooting, watching the little girl playing in the dirt. And I was just thinking to myself, like, well, I don't want to prejudge.
Right.
But
Right. But
all signs point to yeah.
yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Why you got a kid at the yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it made me feel like this is a family thing.
Right.
Even if my wife, right, even if my wife doesn't want to participate, she will be here and the family will get used to this scenario. And I said, okay,
all right.
But they was cool.
Well, I mean, as long as they were cool at the end of the day, I guess it's all right, right?
Yeah, they was cool. They didn't say bye or anything. Not that I expected them to, but everybody else did as they left. You know what I mean? Gotcha. I don't know if that was like a gun range etiquette where it's like, we're off of those lanes. All right, y'all have a good one.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Something to let them know that, yeah.
Right. I don't know if that was what that was because this was it was outdoor as you could see. So it was a very open, you know what I mean? It's not like indoor gun range like Vance's, like where there's a range inspector that watches everybody to make sure. No, everybody for themselves.
A little looser.
It was definitely a little looser. Like
less corporate.
They had a bucket out there that said aluminum cans. And I said, oh, I know what that means. But to be fair, I know a lot of people that go to the gun range after they've been drinking a little bit. And they all say the same thing. If somebody kicks in my door, I'm probably not going to be stone cold sober. So I need to know, you know what I mean? And I said, right. I respect that.
I mean, it makes sense.
As long as
you're
safe.
You got to practice for the way you're going to play.
As long as you're safe, I respect it, bruh. I'm not judging. But when I saw aluminum cans, I said, oh, yep, this is a party place. I'm sure they've had birthday parties out here before.
I'm sure. I am sure.
And it was cheap. It was a good experience. If it wasn't like so deep in the backwoods holler type town, I would go daily.
So Caleb chiming in. So did they look at you because you tried to go to the gun range with your shirt off?
Listen, I was about to be. Listen, you hear what I'm saying?
I thought you were about to take your shirt off about 10 minutes ago the way you were patting your head.
I'm about to in a second. Don't play with me. But
you got your equality message off. You can take it off now.
We did get that. We got that done.
Oh man.
I'm about to get it tatted on my chest. Fuck it.
Just equality across the chest.
So even when I take it off, they still know what the deal is. It still say equality period right here over all my tattoos.
Where?
I might do that. I might tat
left?
over my tattoos and put equality period.
Can you do it in white ink?
I could, but I'd have to get it retouched after every year or so. and I'm not willing to do
That's
that.
a long-term investment at that point. Is that what you're
Listen,
saying?
every year, white shows up for a good 3 to 6 months, and then it starts to fade.
See, I would get a white tattoo, but you would never be able to see it.
But white even fades. White even fades on white people.
I mean, I believe it. Yeah,
It's white's just
it's
not a
just white
color
ink
that's meant
doesn't
to
stay.
stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more so like accents, like shading and
Okay,
shit. You
that
use it
makes
with
sense.
that more than you use the color white. You know what I mean? You might color a portion black and then use a little white ink to go over it to, brighten that
Yeah,
area.
yeah, yeah.
But
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah, skin to skin white, you're not gonna get that to stay. Uh,
So what else we got going on, man?
well, you already know. Are we back up? Are we back live?
Yeah, we're
Mine.
streaming. We don't have a ton of viewers, so I'm trying to
Oh
reshare in a
Lord.
couple of different places and that, but
Okay, so I'll
it
hold
is
it.
what
Let's
it
hold
is.
off on the UFC then.
We'll wait and see
Just
if we can get
because,
some of our crowd back.
yeah, just because I feel like there may be odds in play here, and
Okay. All
I
right.
want people to hear. Um,
Well, then do me a favor. Go on
of
your
course.
stream and share back out.
Okay, okay.
I
What
mean,
you
it looks
just
like
you just reshared it?
yeah, I just reposted it. So you'll have to
Okay.
post the new link.
Right, I
Either
got you.
share from our Facebook link or the YouTube link. Just get it back out there.
Oh no, here you go, right here.
Oh, it
I'm
looks
gonna
like Shane's back. What's going on, Shane? So
What
looks
up,
like we got at least
what?
some of them back. Looks like Caleb came back, Shane came back. Hopefully we get a couple of the other ones back. I hate it when that shit happens, man. There's nothing I can do about it because it has nothing to do with my connection. It's a YouTube fucking issue. Man.
Right,
It's
right.
just a pain in the ass. And
Okay.
I wonder if the Rita's joining us. You know, this is earlier for her now.
I know she took
Out
that
on the West
Oregon
Coast,
Trail.
right? She took the Oregon Trail out west.
I just hope nobody got tuberculosis. What was it?
So here's
What was it?
dysentery. Was the big thing.
Dysentery. I said tuberculosis. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, and I think typhoid fever is the other one that
Yeah,
would show
that
up.
was it. That was it. That's what I was thinking of. I
So
said tuberculosis.
I gotta I gotta let you know a story that happened to my mom and her significant other Dan
Oh
on their
shit.
way out west. So I think this was in Montana, right? Because they drove twice. My mom has driven across the country now in the last like 3 months. So the first time was with their U-Haul truck, right?
Right. And then with her dog.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
I actually heard that they both ran alongside the U-Haul truck.
Right?
I
No
don't think
doubt.
they actually used it.
I'm actually surprised
The
they
couch
took
was driving.
the only reason they had to drive was because my mom wanted her Mustang out there.
Mm-hmm.
So the first time they go out, they
She
take
should.
the U-Haul. They take the U-Haul and Dan is driving. So this is all Dan's fault, and he will acknowledge that this is all his fault. And
Wait.
I am
Dan
retelling the
is
story.
your brother, your stepbrother, or
No,
the
Dan is the dude that my mom is.
So he's a junior then.
What do you mean?
Is he Matt's brother Dan?
No, Matt and Morgan are the
Morgan,
two sons. That's what it is. Morgan's the one that works for the Green Lobby in D.C.
I know, yeah.
He does some cool shit, man. Like,
Really?
he's all about trying to get cannabis legalized at the national level and all that.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
I ain't seen him in years.
No. I haven't either. And he's got a little girl. I think a little girl now. Yeah.
That's
And,
what's up. Well, congrats to
living
him
out
if
there in D.C. and
anybody speaks.
right, doing his thing. Anyway,
But-
so Dan and Rita are driving cross country in this U-Haul,
Mhm.
right? And apparently, they get. I think they had just crossed over between like Wyoming and Montana, something like that. Those two states border, right? I was bad at geography.
Yeah, I think so.
So they had just crossed over into Montana. And Dan all of a sudden realizes that the low fuel light is on their U-Haul.
And,
and
Lord
then-
knows those gas stations ain't nowhere near
Oh
each
yeah,
other.
no, the next exit is like 100 miles away, basically.
Oh my gosh. What happened? Did they run out of gas? Rita was
So-
like, I got this. Threw the couch to the back. She was like,
well, close. So they get into Montana and they kind of pull off, right? And I think they found an exit. There's no gas station, but they at least got off the freeway.
right.
And honestly, like, it was one of those U-Hauls, and it's one of the newer U-Hauls. Like, it tells you like X miles until
Right,
empty,
right,
right?
until the gas-
Which, by the
uh-huh.
way, am I wrong in saying that when it tells you you have 0 miles left, you probably still have 20 miles that you can get,
No,
30
yeah,
miles you can get.
I don't know. I won't say a number, but
Right,
you're
but you
still
still
getting
can
somewhere
go.
off of fumes.
So basically, they get to the point where it's like they don't have any fuel left. Now, I think they could have kept driving, but
Right, right.
they decide to pull off. And they're like looking around. They have no cell phone coverage, none of that. And so
Welcome to the West.
the first person that stops by is like, yo, and it's this, it's your typical rural America white dude.
Uh
Like,
huh.
y'all realize y'all out here, y'all carrying weapons? Y'all carrying weapons? This is an Indian reservation. They find you, they will kill you. So this old white dude shows up and is basically telling them like, why aren't you traveling with a gun? And so now Dan is freaking out. My mom is like, fuck this.
I've been saying that.
I will run back 30 miles and go get us gas and bring it back, basically, because that's my fucking mom. And so they're talking back and forth. They're talking back and forth. The old white dude basically tells them like, I'll go call the police, see if they can come help you. And so after about 20 minutes, I guess cops show up, which I'm actually surprised. And it wasn't state police. It was actually reservation police that showed up.
Oh, really? Like the Indian folks?
Yeah.
They will kill you, okay?
Right,
They're gonna kill you, those coloreds.
And so the reservation cops are like, look, we don't have gas with us. We're actually on our way to another call. What we'll do is once we finish up with our other call, we'll come back and we'll bring you gas. Well, I guess about half an hour goes by after these cops have left.
Rita's already back.
Well, no,
she's back.
My mom kept asking, like, can I please just go? Like
30 miles, 30 minutes. She's
right,
back.
Right. Rita do 30 miles in about 3 hours. She can be
know
there
it.
and back.
Oh, I know it.
I mean, she does a marathon in about, she's probably close to 4 these days, but she's usually sub 4 for a marathon. So 30 miles and back is 4.5 hours.
She's hurdled my naked body over the living room
on her way to go
to
run.
Start her run.
Exactly. So I guess they're waiting and they're arguing, and my mom is finally to the point like, I'm just gonna leave. I'm just gonna go.
Right.
And Dan at this point, I guess Dan is actually afraid that the Indians will come get him or the Native Americans will come get him.
Dan.
And this is all his fault too. Well, it turns out as my mom is basically getting ready to go start and run back, the white dude who came by earlier before the cops
comes back with a gun, not the gas. He said, "You might need this though."
he came back with a couple gallons of gas in a container
and a gun.
Right. Well, he had his guns, of course. He's not dumb. He ain't gonna get captured by them. By them Indians.
Why don't you hold this for me since I know you ain't going nowhere? I'll come back and get it.
But I guess this dude brought them back gas because he felt bad. He's like, I didn't need that on my conscience. I'm a man of God. I'm a man of God.
I couldn't leave you out here with these savages. That is crazy.
So, Mom, when you hear this, give me a shout. I love you.
You should have ran.
Hopefully I told the story correctly. So they ended up making it out there, all that good stuff. And then
I'm glad.
My mom took her car out the next time, and I'm pretty sure she drove most of the way. I'm actually curious how fast my mom had her car up to on her way back.
Right. Right.
Because I'm sure
Milo made it safe then, I assume.
Yes, Willow.
Oh, Willow, tomato.
You were pretty close. That actually wasn't bad. Oh man, that was just your dyslexia kicking in. It's all good.
It's something,
Oh, but yeah, so that was their story from driving out west, driving all the furniture and shit out west. They ran out of gas in the U-Haul, and it was all Dan's fault.
Listen, your girl wants to take a trip.
My girl?
Uh-huh. Not your girl, but Face wants to take a cross-country trip.
Well, y'all are welcome to come out to Seattle with me sometime. Or are we talking Vegas?
No, she's just driving. She's just going and seeing where she makes it to type shit.
Okay.
A spiritual awakening, if you would.
Journey.
Right.
trek across America. That's
She
dangerous
said
as
she
a
wants.
young black
That's what I
woman.
said. I said, listen, we running into sundown towns an hour out of Ohio.
Right.
Now you may need a gun
I
because
suggest
this
I suggest
because
you don't go any further west than St. Louis.
you may need a gun because let me tell you something. It's real savages out there,
Yeah, no
and I'm
doubt.
not talking
Well,
about the
that's what the
Indians.
dude in the truck said, Cliff.
Yeah, not the Indians. Yeah, they listen. They're nice enough to keep a reservation. You know what I'm saying? The fuck.
Well, I mean, I guess half of Oklahoma is now
And
native
listen,
native
their
territory.
reservation has been
So,
canceled multiple times,
right.
and they just left the restaurant. They didn't flip no tables. They didn't fire no arrows, but they're the savages. Okay.
That's how it
Keep it
works.
done.
That's how it works. Man.
They probably would have told her the same thing. Are y'all okay? Do you need a bow and arrow for
Like that time we got pulled over. Sir, are you okay?
right? You in a car full of black folks, and are you okay? I'm pretty sure he picked this one, sir, officer.
I
I'm
know.
pretty sure
Hey,
he
I
hopped
know
in.
them.
You fucking savage.
Oh, Cliff, you shared the wrong one.
Oh, did I? That one was live though.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. I looked at the wrong notification.
Yeah,
I saw
stop
you.
playing
You
with me,
commented
Joe.
on something from Mel. That's all good.
I seen the live. I seen the live.
Oh, well, man, it sucks because we had a good stream going and we're back to like 3 or 4 viewers, and we appreciate our
right.
3 or 4 viewers. We'll be all right.
Definitely, definitely. But like I've been saying for years, if y'all are tuning, I mean, I definitely understand tuning in live because it's something to do immediately.
Well, it's that,
But
and I like the back and forth that we can get into, and it's usually pretty good.
listen,
So.
I just feel like if you're not on the live,
True.
what's the point? I'll catch the audio. That's the better version anyway.
I'm with you. I'm with you. No, unless you're watching live, there's honestly the only reason I do the YouTube is because that's where we started, and that's where we've got.
Well, people operate
most...
visually, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So some people want to see who they're listening to before they choose to listen, you know what I mean?
Well, and it's cool to be able to get like the live chat stuff when I've got it working right and it pops up on screen, right? And people can see what we see kind of in real time, and it's cool. Yeah, man, I don't know.
How about them Raiders, chump?
Whatever. I mean,
yeah.
How about them Bills?
We gonna see you.
Here's the problem: is that the Bills have gone up big early and have given up their leads both weeks already.
We're gonna see you.
Not this week. This week we got the Rams.
No, we got the Patriots this week, and we about to put it on Cam.
All right. I mean, I'm all for it. Let's see it.
Oh no, this is going to be the one win that you're happy that we get because we're gonna knock them off.
Well, that's
period.
Fine. If you knock Cam out, I'll be all for it.
But you know what I will say is the Raiders. They need they need to update their linebacking core because
you always got something to rag on your team.
I mean,
about.
I'm just being honest because they're great. I'm not gonna say great.
They're great.
But for as young as they are, they're great in coverage. Awful in short game ball.
So they're
like
not
the little screens,
they're not a run stopping kind of
right.
thing, yeah.
Like, well, they can stop runs, but like if we're talking about a screen or a quick tight end slant or like there's no midfield coverage with the Raiders. And that's the only thing that concerns me is because we know Patriot is a midfield team.
Yeah, especially now.
They'll throw 2-3 passes to get a first. And those are the balls that kind of fuck us up. Yeah. They end up being 20-yard plays instead of 5.
Because of a missed tackle or just a blown coverage.
Now, your boy who I said, remember you was giving me shit I was talking about Damon Arnett. He came through with the Saints with 7 tackles.
Did he? All right.
Stop playing, and that's from the cornerback position.
Is that good, though, if you've got a DB making 7 tackles?
Well, that's what I was saying. They'd have no short game, so the DB's got to cover for the linebackers, too. I got you. He was making cross-the-field tackles and shit.
Well, you know what's crazy is, and I won't go into the UFC side of this, but I was looking at the my IP TV now, the thing that C-Mac and Luke were talking about. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to sign up for it. Like, their store has been down, which probably means they're being actively, like, investigated or shut down. But
Right.
But I was thinking about it, I'm like, that's my easy ticket to watch Bills games. And I'm wondering if I can trick CBS All Access into thinking I'm logging in from Western New York to basically give me the
Right.
Bills games in market. So
Oh, I'm
I'm gonna have
sure.
to look into like ExpressVPN or one of those
I'm
VPN
sure.
providers to
Right.
see if I can get like a New York IP address and do it that way. Um, but
Ooh, that
no,
was a good plug.
you know what actually popped for me that I thought about, and had I not had if we weren't doing something as a family this weekend, what I was about to do was, if I could have gotten that IPTV thing working,
Right.
we
Do the
were
fights.
gonna watch the fight tomorrow
Live
night.
stream. Live stream them bitches.
But unfortunately, like I said, the store wasn't working, and I'm gonna be out of town. So
I
next
got my
time,
gremlin tomorrow anyway.
I'm gonna keep trying to see if it pops back open, or I'll talk to Luke and C-Max, see if they've got another provider. But I think that, especially with football, you know, the last week of the regular season, because it's a short season, is next week. So let's shoot to do the next big UFC event. We'll watch it, or the next big boxing
For
match. And
sure. Oh, speaking of.
oh, Shane's saying ExpressVPN and NFL Game Pass is the combo.
Speaking of fights. Now I know we talked about UFC and I completely forgot, Mike. I would have sent you the shit originally, but I just recognized it before like I took my nap.
Okay.
There is some serious boxing going on tomorrow as well.
Oh yeah. Is
It's a
this
show box event. The Charlo twins are fighting on the same card.
okay?
They're twins. The big they're I guess the I don't want to say older brother, big brother, because they're only separated by minutes, but the older brother is fighting at super middle.
Okay. The boxing weight classes are foreign
Yeah,
to me,
they're it's all
so
kinds of them. He's fighting at 154, I believe.
okay.
No, he's fighting at 160. He's fighting this white dude, Ukrainian dude named Divinchenko, who is an absolute beast, who actually people say beat Triple G. He gave Triple G his first loss, but he got robbed in that fight, and they gave it to Triple G because Triple G was the more famous name.
Gotcha.
Now, the Charlo twin that I'm speaking of has been calling out Canelo and Triple G and all that for a while now, and they've been ducking him. So I feel like this is a big step up for him, and this is his first fight to show the world I can take a Triple G out the way I take everybody else out.
Yeah.
Because this dude's known for knocking people out early. You know what I mean? Like his whole boxing, both of their boxing styles are every punch I throw will be at full force, and I'll do it for 12 rounds, and nobody will be able to last that long. So as long as I have the utmost conditioning, I can throw every punch with the full power, and you're not going to be able to take it for 12 rounds. And they've been right. There's only been one person that lasted 12 rounds, and they gave him the victory. The twin got robbed, and he got the victory because he did knock him out.
Gotcha.
But he knocked him out in the rematch and got his belt back. But
okay.
So out of both of them, I think they both got around 26 fights. Only one of them has a loss.
That's crazy. That's nuts.
Yeah, they're both, and the loss was a robbery. So
right. It was not unanimous in terms of what people said after the fact.
And they're both fighting on the same card. That is just like it's like. I think one of them is pay-per-view though.
Okay, so one
like
of
I think
like
one of them starts
on
regular
Showtime.
on Showtime, and then after the end, the other one cuts to pay-per-view.
That's great. All right, so that's happening tomorrow night too.
Yeah, I don't even want to give any predictions on either one of these fights.
But
I'm gonna. And you know what? Before I do give my prediction, I was wrong in that fight last time when I was talking about the Erickson Lubin and the Terrell Gaucher, and I went for the Ohio boy.
Okay.
He lost a unanimous decision. He almost got him out in the 10th, but he didn't get him out of there. But I didn't know that the dude from Ohio had a 16-month layoff before the fight.
Oh, okay.
So I apologize to anybody out there.
You fucked some people
Now,
up.
I immediately said, before I gave my predictions, I said this is a real live 50-50 fight.
True.
But if I'm going to, I would edge it to the Ohio boy.
I got you.
I apologize. I did not know he was on a 16-month layoff. If I'd have known that, it'd have been
That would have
Erickson all
changed your
day.
stats. I hear you.
I don't even know though, because like I said, Erickson has a bad chin. But needless to say, this week that Charlo Divinchenko, what's either gonna happen is Charlo's gonna get him out of there via TKO because that white boy's not gonna lay down. The ref's gonna have to stand in between them if he's getting beat up too bad.
Yeah.
So it's gonna either be a TKO by round 10, or if it goes all 12 rounds, I could see them giving it to Divinchenko.
Gotcha.
Even if if it's close, I could see, you know how it is.
Yeah.
That if it's not close enough to where you look like you just obliterated him and we could say he won, he won. Right. So if he doesn't get him, and I think he knows that, so if he doesn't get him out of there via TKO round 10, well, of course he has 2 more rounds after that, but
you think it's going the other way at that point.
Correct. If it goes 12 rounds, yeah. I think it goes to him. I wouldn't bet on this fight just because I feel like there may be manipulation in it.
Gotcha.
Now the younger brother's fighting this dude, Rosario, Banana Rosario. Banana's his nickname.
I was about to say, dude's name is Banana. That's right.
Light skinned Puerto Rican dude. They call him Banana, but and I'm sure that came from Puerto Rico. I'm sure he didn't let somebody from here start calling him Banana.
Although, to your point, we just impose our will on people from
you
other
are
places.
Right.
Fucking colonizers.
Listen, you are correct about that. Wakanda forever. Shot Akon. But
Akon City, baby.
Listen.
Can I come stay with you?
You said, well, oh yeah, you in there, baby. What you mean? You my light-skinned brother. You thought he was white? Listen.
My man.
That's a 50-52, but I give it to Charlo. Right. Charlo's gonna take that one. If I was gonna bet on any fight, I would bet on the Charlo Rosario fight. Charlo is gonna be the favorite, so you probably gonna have to bet a 200 to get 100.
Yeah.
But I don't see it going any other way.
Gotcha. All right, so just kind of recapping, getting back to the chat real quick, and this is retracing our steps on a conversation, and it's my fault because I missed it, but Shane was asking, what sundown town were you in? And we just got an RV, and I'm trying to get across country as well.
I know it was like off of Zanesville.
Like New Philly or something, New Philadelphia.
I don't know. There weren't any signs, bro. There weren't even street signs.
So just call it Zanesville.
Put it like this:
was it south of Zanesville, north of Zanesville?
The road, I knew it was serious when we were on a street with yellow lines, and then we cut off into this dirt road.
Down that old dirt road.
And it took us down along the freeway, and then we cut left deeper into it, and I was like, oh shit. It was the kind of road where it looked like we were on the way to Virginia. Was it
Briar Rabbit Range?
Where's that?
I don't know. Shane just has Briar Rabbit Range.
I don't know what the name of the range was. Yeah. It was it's a park though.
Okay. Well, I mean, Briar Rabbit is the Briar Patch, right?
You're right.
It sounds like it might be the same place.
Hold on. I think it was.
Where's Keo? Keo, what's the name of the range?
The range was great. But how to get to that motherfucker, even the dude that ran it was cool. But how to get to that motherfucker,
you knew you were probably gonna be one of very few people.
Dillon Sportsman Center.
Okay.
Man, listen. Listen. And it wasn't like they had signs like niggers get out past 5.
But no, they were just Trump signs posted in the yard.
Everywhere, flags everywhere.
You know those.
I know a sundown town when I see one, bruh. Look, the streets wasn't even wide enough for 2 cars to pass at the same time. You had to kind of pull off and let the other side of the road. But the thing is there was hills on either side of the road, so if you pulled too far off, your bitch is rolling all the way down. And you're in a holler, so you're not going to get any cell phone reception.
Down in the holler.
The
Shane says he
fuck?
knows the place. Shane says he knows the place. So.
Listen, bruh. I was like, damn. And we ain't leave that bitch till like 7:45, 7:50.
That's
I
when
was
it's
like,
dark. You're
nigga.
too late.
That's what I was saying. I said, nigga. The old white gentlemen we went was cool as shit. They like, listen, we going to so and so to get pizza here now. If y'all want to come, I was like, listen, I don't even know if that's a whites only facility or not. I think I'm gonna have to.
Oh man, I don't know.
And Keo got his Black Rifles Matter shirt on. Like,
Black Rifles Matter.
Listen,
Yes.
this motherfucker.
Y'all just asking for trouble.
Listen, car loaded up full of guns. And when I said we had, 13, 12 of them was me and Keo. So our car was loaded. Like, the seats was laid down into the back seat.
So I have a question for you. What happens if you get pulled over in that scenario?
Well, we were riding legally, so the guns were in the trunk and all of the ammunition and the clips were in the car with us.
Okay.
So technically, you can't say anything.
Right,
the
but
only
you're
bad
black.
thing, right. And I listen, and I thought that, but the only bad thing about it, and this is what I was betting on, is okay, we just got to make it to the gun range, because if we make it to the gun range, we get a receipt.
And
we
then
we came from the gun range,
right?
But
it getting was, to the gun range,
they don't give no receipts there, bruh. That's a here's the cash, yeah, let's go type situation. I was like, oh, okay. Well, we got to ride back.
Shit.
Listen, but you know me, shit. Man. It is what it is. Even if Lord forbid, if it did happen, then that's what happens. Lord forbid.
The good thing, I guess, is you're armed.
Well, that's the thing. And listen, that's the catch-22, right? Because you're in a scenario where you know you may have to protect yourself. So you have to choose. Do I ride illegally with one of the guns on my person?
Right.
Or do I just all the way legal, keep them all in the back and be at the whim of whoever.
And hope that you can sweet talk or whatever you need to do to stay alive in that situation.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know me, though. I don't know. You know me. I feel very comfortable with these two paws here, too.
True. You're not afraid to scrap.
I'm not too concerned about the weapon in a weird way. You know what I mean?
I know. I hear you.
Because your first instinct is that I will be concerned about the weapon. So I have a split second of shock value to get at you if I feel threatened.
When you don't go for the weapon, right.
And we all know from history, not scared of getting shot. So we're good. It's a win-win.
Been there, done that. All right.
You know? I know what to expect.
Oh, man. All right.
It was lovely. I had a lovely time.
I'm glad you had a lovely
Shouts
time.
Shouts to Dillon Sports Center. I would just say if you're a person of color, go early.
Go early.
And take the long way.
Before the sun goes down.
And take the long way.
Don't take the freeway. You know take the back roads.
I'm saying take the freeway as far as you can. Don't do what we did. Listen, we had a 20-minute drive through the back roads. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, man.
I'll go back, though. I'll definitely go back. I just want to be more prepared, you know?
Well, at least now you know what to expect, right?
Right. And that's what I mean with more prepared. So now I know the whole process, everything. So I know if we got to get out of here by this time, let's start packing up right now.
Right.
Before it was like, well, we still got a couple clips full. Let's just shoot a couple, you know, nope. Ain't no bullshitting. Let's get it going.
Right. Well, I'm glad you made it. So we can do this show again.
You know, I rolled dice, baby. D&D. D&D, craps,
whatever.
C-Note, all that. I rolled dice, baby.
Oh, dude. All right, so changing topics real quick.
Change it.
I don't know if you saw this or not.
Is this the Bethesda?
It is.
Bethesda me, because I'm not hip.
So Bethesda is the game studio behind a bunch of the one single player games that I love.
I do know. Okay, I thought this was a game that you were
No.
speaking of.
So
No, I definitely know Bethesda.
Bethesda's the company behind those games
Right.
that I love, like
Okay.
Dragon Age and Mass
Right.
Effect
Right.
and
Right. Right. Right.
Skyrim and Fallout. I take that back. Sorry, Dragon Age and Mass Effect are BioWare, not Bethesda.
Yeah.
Skyrim and Fallout are Bethesda.
Okay.
Doom, the new Doom games, Doom. They bought ID Software.
Okay.
So they do a bunch of like the single player type games, that kind of stuff, and especially for me in the role playing games and with the Fallout saga and the Skyrim saga. Microsoft bought Bethesda this week
Oh,
for
really?
$7.5 billion.
I hope they got big plans.
Well, here's the thing: is that one, I think that sells me on Xbox. So both PlayStation and Xbox Series X are both on pre-sale right now, to the point where you can't find them anymore. And I'm with you in terms of I'm not going to be the first one to get it. I might be the second or third person to get it, but I'm not going to be the first one in line to get the new consoles.
Right.
But with Bethesda getting bought out by Microsoft, what I think that means is I don't think it's going to mean Bethesda's games doesn't go to other platforms. So I still think like the next Skyrim or the next Elder Scrolls game, which is the Skyrim game, or the next Fallout game, I still think those will all be kind of not console exclusives, but they'll be available on everything.
Right.
What I think it does is it actually makes the prospect of that Microsoft Game Pass
Right.
more appetizing for me.
Right. Right.
Meaning
Right.
I
Right.
can pay $10 a month instead of shelling out $60 every 3
And
months
check the right.
to
Right.
download the game and play. Because I think what'll happen is it'll be maybe not exclusive to Game Pass, but it'll be on Game Pass early.
Well, you know
Which
me,
means
I have an addictive personality anyway.
yeah,
So if I get a game like, especially like that, like a story mode game,
yep,
chances are I'm gonna beat it even if it's long in a week.
right.
And that's giving it a lot. Like if it's not too long, I'll get that out of there in 2 days, 3 days.
Well, and I tell you what, it's funny. It's funny you say that because in anticipation, based on our conversation about Valhalla,
Right,
um,
right. That Assassin's Creed.
I got Odyssey about a month and a half ago, and because my wife has been crazy lesson planning for basically live
Have you been playing
and
it?
on, dude, I've probably logged 80 hours in the last month and a half
I'm
on
not.
it.
I got that too, and I undownloaded it from the Xbox. I'm not. I wasn't enthused.
I'm not like a huge fan of it, but it's been a while since I've played an Assassin's Creed game, and it can get addictive in terms of
Right. No, you're right.
just continuing to get through, like, because the storyline in that, the story mode in that, like the main quest or whatever you want to call it, is actually in my mind was pretty engaging. And honestly, I've always loved like Greek and Roman history,
Right.
and so that
Right. I'm
stuff
with you
to
on
me
that.
was awesome. And like, the whole storyline, spoiler alert, around like Pythagoras, as in the Pythagorean theorem,
Uh huh.
being like being basically an immortal because he was holding on to the staff from the gods or the first people or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe you didn't get that far.
No.
So he ends up being an important part of the story, and like seeing some of those historical figures like Sophocles or
Right.
Pericles or
Well, they were always good for that, and the
they
whole.
were, but this was the first one that like I was personally invested in from that storyline aspect,
No.
because
See, mine was.
I was always a Greek and Roman mythology person, like, or
Well,
a Greek and
see.
Roman history
Right.
person.
Right. Well, see, my thing
And I
is.
mean, you got the Roman history in the early Assassin's Creeds. I'm sure
Right.
yours was probably what, more of the Egypt and the
No,
last
I
of
didn't. That's
Origins.
what I'm saying. When Ubisoft sold the rights to whatever that other company was, I fell off. and that's the first one was with the Egypt one.
Right,
And I was
Origins.
so upset that the one time you put the black dude in it, you got the game so fucked up. Like it's
Well, and
not
it
the
was the first
same.
time that studio had it, and I get you in terms of they
They
changed.
made Odyssey the same thing, the same way, and that's why I was like, man, this is just weak to me.
Well,
Like,
and maybe that was the thing because you and I played Syndicate a little bit. Like we did some of the
no,
multiplayer,
not
but
Syndicate.
I
It
know,
was
I know you're talking about Origins. What I'm saying is the last one I had played was Syndicate, and
oh right,
so I hadn't played in a long time. Like
right.
I love Black Flag. I
I
loved.
didn't play Syndicate. What I did enjoy, and we played a couple missions together, was that what was the one where it was the duels, where you had the whole squad online,
See, I thought
where
that
you could.
was Syndicate. Was
No, that
that was
wasn't
before
Syndicate.
Syndicate?
Yeah,
Was
no,
that
it was
Revelations?
after Syndicate.
See, I don't think
It
I
was
played
after
anything after
Syndicate.
Syndicate until this.
Unity. It was
Unity,
Unity.
but Unity was before Syndicate.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, you're right though. We played you. That's the one we played together was
But I
Unity.
thought Syndicate didn't. Syndicate came out on 360, and Unity was exclusive to Xbox One.
I thought that was vice versa. I thought
Uh
Unity came out on both.
uh.
You might be right then. So that was the last one I had played, and honestly, I never beat that one either.
I didn't either. And the only reason why I didn't was because I wanted to play it as it was meant to be played
Which was
with someone else
the
online.
multiplayer, the
And it was
co-op.
so hard to find other people to play with it. It was like it's boring playing by myself. You know what I
Right.
mean? But that I feel like that one had the potential to be the best.
It could have been. It could have been. And I actually think now thinking back to it, maybe I did. Where was Unity set? Because Syndicate was the one set in London,
Unity was
right?
in France.
Okay.
You were like some French kid and you were like
It was the
breaking out of
French
jail
Revolution and
or
all that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. No, I think I only played Unity with you. I don't think I even really played the single player on that.
I
And
played it a
so,
little bit,
but this was the first one that I really got back into. So playing
but
Odyssey and all that. And
Viking shit though, like even though I don't like the controls and the way it's set up, I just like the
it's not
whole
as natural. Like it's not the strike, counter strike the way the original was.
right. It's just weird. I don't know how to describe it, but
And I don't like having to like hold a button to do like the power up move. Like and the
right,
fact that they have power up moves at all is weird
right,
because before that like it was strictly just kind of like normal
light,
combat,
heavy,
right?
right.
It was basically a rhythm combat system and now it's more gamified, I guess, in terms of power ups and
I
that kind
guess
of
you could
shit.
say that. But like I was saying, I just like Viking culture so much that I would like to
So I
be
think the same
involved in the
I
storyline.
think the same reason why I liked Odyssey, in terms of I actually resonated more with like the Greek, not
Mhm.
even mythology, but Greek mythology and Greek history, is why I liked Odyssey. I bet that's why you end up liking Valhalla for the same
Probably.
reason. And I
Mm-hmm.
know
I'll
enough
probably play
about
that
like
through.
I know enough about kind of Norse mythology that I'll be intrigued by it. I'm not as versed in kind of Viking history,
Right.
so we'll see.
Shit.
Uncle
I
Dan
don't
out there saying Norse mythology for the win because he's a big Norse
listen.
mythology
I'm
fan
with
too.
Uncle Dan. Let's wield some axes. Don't even give me a shield. Just let me come out there and. What's going on?
We might be having somebody hop in. Let's see
Food
if I
truck
can fix this
edition.
up. You know we like whatever comes in. That's how we roll.
Mm-hmm.
And I
We
missed it
got
because
it.
we got engaged in our chat. I don't know how long he's been waiting in the waiting room. We'll see if he
We
throws
got an
on the.
Amazon Prime delivery.
That's how we roll. What's going
There he
on,
goes.
Shane?
Oh, you on mute though, bro? Yeah, it's tricky on that Zoom.
It'll get
Yeah,
you. It'll
it's
get
driving
you.
me crazy.
What's
What's up,
going
fellas?
on?
What's going on, Shane?
Can't call it. Can't call it.
That's
Just out
right.
here.
Listen,
What y'all? It was a rough one yesterday, huh?
I mean, we were good for the first half. The
I know,
first
I
half,
watched.
I think we
You
shocked
watched?
them. We shocked.
was it on
Yeah.
TV?
Yeah, it was on the
Yep.
CW.
Oh,
I mean,
I would have watched.
honestly, they owed us one. Like we've whooped up on them the last couple of years, and they were due. And I thought we were shocking them, and I thought we had kind of broken their spirit. And then they came out in the second half and just ran us over, and it was all over from there.
Mm.
It was rough. It was rough.
You gotta be prepared for them counters. You
It's,
can't just beat up on somebody and expect them not to swing back.
It's funny that you say counters because that's what killed us was them
Oh,
running
really?
fucking counter Trey.
Listen,
Like, goddamn, this is like we didn't practice. Like literally,
the sleepy coach out here.
we practiced 2 full days against counter Trey because
Who got laid out by that tackle?
you know what? We actually did okay against the pool. It ended up being
Okay.
our interior guy that got driven off the fucking ball. Like,
Okay.
are you fucking kidding me?
Okay.
That hasn't been a problem all year, and it was a problem last night.
Right.
Hey, we used to call that the West Side Trey.
Mhm.
We wouldn't even call it the counter Trey because they've been doing that forever. They're just gonna lull you in and knock you out.
Right. Oh man.
Right.
So yeah, that was a little rough. What sucks is one of my DNs is now in concussion protocol, so I don't know that we're gonna have him for the last game this week. But
I remember what taught me the counter. We was at CCC.
ECC.
We was at CCC at St. Catherine's Christ the King St. Thomas, CCC Greenwave.
ECC Greenwave, yes.
Oh.
I don't remember what it stands for, but it was like we used to call it like the East Side Coalition.
Oh yeah, right. I do remember that. But that's a mean group of schools you put together for a football team.
Well, it was like
you got the blackest Catholic schools and just said make them all one team.
You had St. Thomas, St. Mary's, Christ the King, and St. Catherine's, and now it's like Holy
Was it
Spirit.
St. Mary's too?
Yeah, and like Holy Spirit is there now too.
I didn't know but was there St. Mary's boys there when I played?
There weren't very many because St. Mary's was so
Okay.
tiny back then. But yeah,
Yeah, I didn't even know of a St. Mary's, but all I remember was I think I was either playing strong safety or I was playing corner. But you know how I was active. If I knew it wasn't the pass, I'm in the mix of shit. All I remember is you remember Chris Connor?
Yep.
He was playing fullback.
Which is what he did. Yes. I'm surprised we both knew that Chris Connor played fullback. Well
Yeah,
done.
man, stop. I remember this shit like yesterday. And I can't remember. I missed the tackle. I saw the tackle. Tackle was big coming through the hole, so I missed the tackle. I did not see Chris coming in behind him. And when I say stars, he ran me over. And
now we know why Cliff is the way he is.
I like to be on the hit or to be the one. I just like impact.
Yeah.
I prefer being the one delivering the hit.
Right.
Even if you hit me,
You'd
I'm
rather
like,
be the
you got
hammer
me.
than the nail. Right.
You got me there, buddy. You got me.
Well,
But I remember getting up like wind knocked out, just in lightheaded, like, oh shit.
Have I told you
And
that
ever
story
since
from
then-
college? So college, my freshman year, I was we used to call us an A minus, because we got to travel or whatnot, but I wasn't getting much time as a freshman. But I got to travel because I was like second 2.5 on the depth chart as a freshman. And so I ended up running a fair amount of scout team.
Right.
And so I lined up a scout team fullback and went head to head with our linebacker who was an All-American D3 and ran an ISO block against him. And we met in the hole and it was just boom. And it wasn't like either one of us bounced off. We literally hit each other and came to a dead stop.
Right.
Like something I've never seen in my life. Hit each other, came to a dead stop, and just paused while the play happened around us, and we both stepped off.
Like, all right, you cool?
I walked over. His name was Jamie Pletzner. I walked over to Pletzner after the play. I'm like, that was a good hit, man. He's like, yeah, you too. It's like, you needed a second, right? I'm like, so did I.
Yeah, I've had one of them like that with this
Oh,
dude,
man.
Anthony Churum from high school. We had one. We had to sit out a while. Wasn't no concussion protocol back then. You just sat out.
We used to just call it getting your bell rung, right?
Listen, and I enjoyed it. That's my weird ass. That was like, we're playing now. Now I'm feeling it's like putting alcohol on a cut. Like, yep, I feel it now. Let's go.
Oh, man.
That was the good old days. That's why my old ass still sparring and doing dumb shit, because I just want to feel it. Just let me feel it every
I
now and
recommend
again.
just going to a weight room and like holding your breath while you lift. It works just the same.
No, it's nothing like impact. It's nothing like knowing there's a consequence to something.
I'm too old
You
for
know what I mean?
consequences, man. I want to be able to stop the consequence midway if I have to.
Well, that's what getting old and learning is about. Stopping the consequence even when you step into a conflicting situation.
Shoot,
I'm not
I'm
worried about you.
42.
I got
I'm 42. I got consequences just walking to the bathroom in the middle of the night. So-
listen.
Right,
And you know what's funny
right.
though? What's funny is when I do heavy shit like that, like when I will put gloves on with somebody to do some shit, I'm not as sore as when I do simple shit. Like, oh, you slip getting into the shower. Oh, and now your hammy's tight. Oh my gosh, it's been that way for 2 weeks.
The worst pain that I put myself in it happens like twice a year is like turning like this and standing up. Meanwhile, I go and I'll put 500 up in a fucking deadlift, but
motherfuckers need to do calisthenics when they wake up like football practice just to get this shit right. Like, okay, ready for the day.
That's what I need. I need somebody to reteach me how to stretch being old. That's what I need.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh man.
it's amazing though. When I started coaching football, like I was young and dumb and just out of college, right? So like kids would run out of bounds and I would just catch them. Like, yeah, all right, we're good. Come on back. Now I'm high stepping, trying to get away. Like,
Listen,
oh, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
Right.
I'm trying to see if I still got the bruise. I don't think I do, but I was demoing wrong arming and like blowing up a kick out last week, and I had 3 marks of a face mask across my shoulder. I'm like, God damn, my shoulder hurts.
My shit still ain't right, baby. I think I got real life damage in my shit.
Uncle Dan chiming in with his consequences from sneezing. Fuck my life.
I've definitely pulled a muscle in my back. All that nonsense from a sneeze.
Goodness gracious.
Oh, yeah.
So Shane, what you got, man? Anything you want to chime in on that we've kind of been hitting on? I know I probably left you waiting in the chat. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good, man. It took me a minute to try to. I was trying to get on my iPad, but it wouldn't let me get on, so I had to get on my phone. Now, like, it's funny you guys were talking about the range earlier. Like, we go to the one in Briar Rabbit in Zanesville, and all the time, like, we're counting the signs, and we get there pretty early.
Right.
And it's been crazy because like the last 2 times we've been in the last month, there have been more black folk than white folk there.
Right,
and
right.
The past 2 years that we've been members there, like I've been the only one.
Yeah, you'll see them, but that town, boy.
Oh man, get in early, get out early. Don't
listen. We didn't get there till 5:45.
That's late, man.
Right.
That's because Cliff didn't get up till 12.
See, now I'm with that right there. Like some early shit, like bright and early shit. Because you got to think police ain't even thinking people are moving for those reasons. They going to work or they doing runs.
That's why when I used to drive back and forth between Pittsburgh all the time, man, I was leaving at 6 a.m. because I knew I could do 90 the whole way and nobody was going to fuck with me.
And they just think you running late for work.
Right.
All right, sir. Speed. I'm going to give you a warning. Slow it down. All right. With me, they're like, all right, sir, get the fuck out the car. Let me see what's going on here. Put your hands up. Put your hands down. Put your hands up. Turn your hands around.
Right. We talked about this earlier. Like,
show me your palm. Show me your knuckles. Show me your ass. Spread them. Spread them.
My favorite moment getting pulled over with you, Mr. Jennings, was what was that? And you kicked it. You kicked the fucking. It had to have been like a little baggie. A little baggie. You just kicked it in the dirt like nothing.
I was caught.
Meanwhile, they got me outside the car like, sir, are you okay? I'm like, I'm driving. Yes, I'm fine. These are my friends.
They got their hand on my chest the whole time. Like, let me see what's going on here, kid. What you got? Where's it at? Huh?
All because Shelby had to look back.
Man. Shelby
that's rule
twice.
Rule number 1.
Twice. That could have been an easy fix. You fucked up twice, kid.
That's rule number 1.
Don't look
back.
But I still love you. And I would take that lick for you any day.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. What did we learn? Don't go to Sandusky.
Don't go to Sandusky.
Cedar Point
dirty.
is not the place for us. You know, my other favorite memory of that was you had won a fucking like stuffed monkey. And you were wrestling with it in line, just entertaining little kids behind us. And you were like, "Look here, monkey." You were like beating the shit out of this fucking stuffed monkey, entertaining the kids. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. That has stuck with me for a long time.
Listen, Trick love the kids.
Right.
Trick love the kids.
Oh man!
Shouts to my beautiful warrior princess niece Callie. She just turned. Let me be exact with it. I don't want to. I think it's 3 weeks in a day.
I mean, I do think it's crazy. Every time I'm at your house, there's little kids there. So
listen, the kids love Cliff. I
know.
I gotta keep them at a distance.
Mine was asking about you
tonight. Come every
weekend. Mine was asking about you tonight. He was like, because I told him because I put the shirt on, right? He's like, "Oh, is Uncle Cliff coming?" I'm like, "Nah, but I tried to ask him to come over, and he just couldn't make
I would have did that just for him. Damn.
It's all good, man. We'll get together.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't feeling well.
But he is.
I don't know what was going
missing
on.
you. He's missing you.
Nah, I'm gonna come see my G. Where is she at? Let me get my baby's age right. You know, I don't keep track. You don't even have an age till you hit a year. Ooh, I was right. 3 weeks in a day.
There you go.
Look at me being a uncle. I knew more about her than I did my daughter.
We got a scammer asking us for the link for UFC 253.
You said, what about the UFC?
I said, we've got a scammer in the chat asking us for the link for the UFC 253. It's not pay-per-view.
Who is that?
I have no idea. Uncle David chiming in from the West Coast.
Oh, my guy. What up, Unc? I love you.
Saying, y'all acting like you're ancient. Meanwhile, he's, late 50s, early 60s?
Listen, but you still kicking. You inspiration, bruh. You still kicking. You still kicking.
Oh, man.
Don't play them games.
Did we have anything left to talk about on the Bethesda stuff? My only real point there was that
Microsoft
buying them out, I think that's going to end up being the thing that locks me into Xbox.
That's a strong
and wants me to. I mean, I'll probably end up signing up for Game Pass at that point once their games are exclusive to that or whatnot. So.
Well, I already said the only thing that's going to keep me on Xbox is the fact that that's where I've been for the past 10 years. I'm not about to lose all my shit.
Achievements.
You know what I mean? Achievements,
or
games.
The games you've downloaded. I hear you.
Yeah, all that. It's like, why would I switch over and I got games that are sitting...
Well, and they've made a point to, maintain the backwards compatibility stuff.
Right.
So I'm with you. I've got probably a library of 100+ games.
I guarantee I do. And just never thought about it or... never looked at all the games I downloaded.
Well, and every once in a while, I will go back. I've gone back and played the Fallout games, all of them, probably multiple times, and half of those were on 360. So.
Well, see, now all I do is download games. I don't get the disc anymore, so yeah. I'm sure it's hella games out there that I didn't know I had or download paused, then I didn't
finish it. I'm trying to think what's coming out next that I'm excited for. I've been playing like I said, I was playing Odyssey. I'm starting to play the Marvel Avengers game, which I'm kind of on. I kind of feel bad spending the money I did on that one.
It's not that good?
I mean, it's okay.
Well, I told you unless it was co-op, I wasn't interested.
Yeah, and you're probably right. And I think what it'll end up happening is that they'll finish building out the single player over the course of the rest of the calendar year. And then they'll focus in on multiplayer next year.
Yeah, if they do that, I'll get it. I'll get it if it's a co-op.
But yeah, it might be worth it then.
I quit playing my 2K, and I will not play it. I am on strike.
Why's that?
You're on strike?
Because if anybody knows anything about 2K, there were 2 ways to shoot the ball. You could either shoot pulling the right stick down and releasing it with the right timing, or press it with X. This 2K21, they did it a timing thing where now if you press X, the bar goes like a free throw and you have to stop it dead in the middle of this bar to hit a perfect shot. Now, if you use the stick, they take away, they don't so much count the timing so much as if you pull the stick back perfectly. Look at this interview, job interview. He had his job interview picture pop up before he came on.
C-Max texted in the chat, yo, let
what
me
up
in.
with them Browns, boy? What are those?
Hey, listen. I'll give you full credit, Cliff. I'll be honest. I was impressed with Derek Carr last game.
Listen, last game he didn't do
talking
bad.
about Derek Carr.
Last game he didn't do bad.
Mm-hmm. He
didn't do bad. I will not. The first game. Well, no. Well, let me tell you something. This is one critique I do still have on him. It's better than worse though. Now that you got those receivers on your squad, right? Speedsters. You have to hit them on the streak.
Absolutely.
You're overthrowing them every time, which is better than underthrowing, but you're overthrowing them every time. Why can't you have to find a way to catch them? That's my only critique right now. You haven't thrown any interceptions. Doesn't look like you've gotten too nervous to get out of pocket, but you're overthrowing receivers like that's college shit.
That's Baker Mayfield shit. That's what that is. Let's just call it what it is.
Garbage.
Thank you.
Garbage.
Listen, he got the arm. He's overthrowing the shit. And when I say overthrow, I mean like 5-10 yards overthrowing your. Like you're not even aiming. You're just launching and hoping they get to it. And I understand you may be able to do that. That's probably what Ruggs told him though. Just throw that bitch as hard as you can. Yep. I'll get to it. And he's probably not getting to it. So I may be a little too critical of Derek on that. But
nah.
You don't think?
Nah.
But at least Derek means to.
Right.
And the Browns quarterback, he's just like hoping and praying. Like, I hope it gets close to you.
Right.
You give me enough money, please catch.
Maybe somebody will go get it if I just throw it up. Hopefully it's the same jersey color.
I mean, that's how Josh works, and it seems to be working just fine for the Bills.
You know what, Josh? Josh, I feel like he's a little more calculated. Like
I agree with you. It's funny you say that because I think you're right when he's throwing the ball, at least more than he was in the playoff game last year. What he is not calculated about, you are correct, is the hits.
Running. Have you seen that, man?
They were like, Josh Allen goes beast mode. I'm like, Josh Allen has a death wish.
Right. He's running like a fullback out there. I'm like, oh my gosh. And you think, no, he's not going to survive past that Raiders week. I promise you that if he does that.
Well, so what did I tell you? The Dolphins quarterback was going to die yesterday.
Oh, I didn't see that. Fitzpatrick was running like he was a fullback, like trying to make moves, and then they would take his legs
lowering the shoulders.
It was on fucking NFL Network. What's the point of having a Thursday night game if it's on NFL Network?
Well, I mean, it's that, or it's the wasn't Twitter doing live Thursday night games for a minute?
Oh, I didn't know that.
They do like so many games on NFL Network, and then they switch to like ESPN later in the year or something.
But if it's a weekday game, why not show it on network TV?
That's right, because the Lakers were on ESPN. I think
there was basketball, there was baseball. See,
there's too many sports.
The only thing going on.
Okay, right. I didn't know that. Okay, yeah. I'm tripping.
Shoot, I'm not staying on too late tonight. I am exhausted.
I heard you. You played tonight, right?
Yeah.
It's all right. Because you stayed on long enough to know that my Raiders came out the gate 2-0, and they look the best out of all three of our teams right now.
No, the Bills look fine.
They look the best out of all three.
The Bills look good for 3 quarters in both of their games.
Right.
The Bills look good in the first 3 quarters of all of their games so far.
Miami's tight end, what's his name? Me Too Jaw last week. He was catching Odell Beckham passes across the middle on Buffalo.
Like I said, we'll be all right. We still won the game, didn't we? We're 2-0 too.
But I also
we're 2-0 too, right?
There were three questionable calls in that game.
All I'm saying is the games that I've said we were going to win, we did.
You did.
And I said this was a toss-up this week, so we'll see how the Rams go this
week.
week.
We're 2-0, but who's played the tougher competition? Us.
True.
Who's won by the most points?
You.
Us.
Okay. Last week, yes. The week before, you won by what, 2?
First of all, you played the Jets, and you won by 9, I believe.
Yeah, but we were up by 17 at one point,
We played the
so
Saints,
it's fine.
and we were up by 13. What?
Are the Saints really that good, though, without Michael Thomas?
It doesn't seem like it.
He was in there.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
Michael Thomas did not play, and he's not playing tomorrow or Sunday either. Yeah, he got hurt.
Been in there.
Week 1.
Malcolm out here
Week 1,
talking about Raiders and Buffalo. So fuck you, Malcolm.
Well, Malcolm is an Eagles fan, so
he doesn't get to talk, right?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
The Eagles might get beat by the Bengals this week.
You should mute him for that specific. Restrict his availability.
And to answer your question, Reggie, we won 34-10 tonight.
Good shit. Congrats.
And next week's the fun one.
To the other Raiders, C-Mac.
Oh, you play?
Right.
You coach for the Ren?
Yup, Brownsburg Raiders, baby. That's my alma mater, though, too.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
we got Pick Central next week.
How old are you?
He's all right.
Dude, I'm older than both of y'all.
Yeah, but only a year, right?
Yeah, only a year.
All right, say Shane's the old man of the group, but that's all right.
Okay, so you might know a couple.
So who you talking about?
Thursday.
Oh, y'all got the Thursday night game?
You talking about me, white boy?
What'd you say? I said all I was asking was who are you asking him about? Like who does he know?
Yeah, don't do me like that, Jimmy Kimmel.
All right.
That's post. That's post, Takashi.
I mean, what I will say is his main man Kershaw is a good dude. I met him a couple times. I like him.
Yep.
I saw he had some drama go on over the summer.
You are a slickster. You switched right back. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. I said, "What the hell? What happened?"
Cliff doesn't know what's going on. It's all right. That's the way we work.
Right.
Listen, I fly by the seat of my shorts 60% of my life, baby.
60% of the time, it works every time.
I meant to ask. Explain to me what happened against Buckeye Valley, because I saw that score and I wanted to ask you about it.
Well, here's what happened, C-Mac. It's one of those situations where you're down 14 getting off the bus because you're in Trump country and you're an all-black team. So that's number one.
So kind of like how we were against Lancaster last week.
Right, exactly. The other one, because your boy got another flag.
No.
In one series, listen to this shit. One series, we get a no call on a bubble screen on a hold against my defense. So outside backer literally gets his shoulder ripped back around on a hold call or on a no call on a hold. We sack Buckeye Valley's quarterback for a 10-yard loss that he managed to throw the ball and they don't call intentional grounding. And then, this is all still in the same series, mind you. And then they hit somebody deep over the middle for like a 30, 40-yard pass that the ball comes out as he hits the ground. Which means it's either incomplete or it's a catch and a fumble.
Right.
They called it complete. And so all I did was like, first of all, you made the no call on this, you made the no call on this, you made the no call on this, and then the flag came out on Coach Reggie.
What did Lightfoot say about that?
Lightfoot has not had any issue because I've had a flag thrown on me twice this year, and Lightfoot hasn't said shit to me.
He said, but nothing is funnier than getting a flag called on you when they get the wrong black guy to remember that.
Right.
And they what now?
Oh, so
when we were at
first
SC.
First year at SC, our dude, Matt Merritt, he was a running backs coach. He came running past the ref. He like dropped his play card and everything because we just broke a long run against Pick North. I go to pick up his play card. The ref turns and looks at me, throws the flag at me. I'm like, what the flag at me for? I don't know what's going on. So he's talking to Farian like he knows what he did. I'm like, Jeff.
Literally, all I did was pick up the card.
I said he got the wrong black guy this time, like for real. And sure enough, on film, you see Merritt go by and almost run over the ref. But I just happened to be standing right there.
He fit the description.
Listen, right. A colored is a colored.
How many track coaches have been kicked out of a track meet?
No. How do you get kicked out of a track meet?
So we're first of all, we're in Trump country.
I thought that was a joke. Wow. I thought that was like a Polish joke.
I was waiting for the punchline.
You know,
we were out in London, and we're in the London relays, and they, like, you know, we're going through. On your mark, my guy gets in the blocks. Get set, my guy's still getting in the blocks. Bang, my guy's not even in the set. So I go talk to the official afterwards, and he was like, back up away from me before I have you kicked out. I'm like, no, we need to talk about how you just messed up. I'll have you thrown out. Like, I already knew everybody in London and whatnot, and they were like, dude, he said he wants you kicked out. So I stood on the fence before their trees grew back in like 01, 02. Like, I'm kicked out. I don't know what to do. But so I think I've been kicked out of every sport I've coached except for football. I've been ejected from basketball games.
But But was that the ref's fault though? Why are you not setting your blocks?
You have to come to a complete stillness before they can say shoot bang. And he had never gotten to the set.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like,
what you're saying.
So it either should have been a false start for not getting in the blocks in a timely fashion, or it should have been a restart because he wasn't watching everybody in the lanes.
Right.
But no matter what, it was his fault.
Right.
But no referee, no official is ever going to change their call. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
actually,
that was also back when I thought I could do what other coaches do that don't look like me.
Coaches that look like me get away with a lot more shit, Shane. Come on now.
Yes.
And that motherfucker been flagged twice this motherfucking year. And that's within 2 weeks. He's averaging a flag.
It was across. No. There were 3 weeks for the 2 flags. I had one in the middle.
2 flags,
I had one in the middle where I didn't get one.
Hey, listen.
He's the white Draymond Green.
When I'm at Whitehall on Tuesday, I'll try to get a flag.
There you go.
How about that?
You tell him Coach Reggie sent you.
It would only be fair. It would only be fair.
I'm a coach against the guy who coached me in high school, and then I'm a coach also against the guy that I coached in high school on Tuesday. Yeah.
Oh, well, you gotta win. You gotta win that. So make sure it's bad. It's bad for you.
I coached 10 years at Whitehall, so I understand the kids. And in 7th and 8th grade, they have grown-ass men.
True, we do.
We don't have.
We got elementary kids.
The unfortunate part about Whitehall versus other schools.
You coached there too, C-Mac?
No, we coached track together.
And you said Reynoldsburg.
But we coached track together at Bexley.
I know about Bexley too. Post. I'm single as fuck. It don't matter. Post.
It's funny. Uncle David chimed in the chat. First of all, Malcolm and David are going back and forth in the chat, which is hilarious. Second of all, Uncle David say, gee, imagine that in London, Maggot, Ohio.
Right. Man, that's my nigga, man.
Uncle David.
I miss him.
You and Uncle David and Uncle David. Yeah, the 3 of you were thick as thieves back in the day.
Stop fucking playing with me. Who I met that I ain't been thick as thieves with? Either you love me to death or we have problems.
That's true.
Because I'm
gonna give it to you. That'll ever make me forget my first night of ever meeting Cliff. So
I'm gonna give it to you straight.
You know, it's funny. Me. That's how most people feel.
Right. That is how most people feel. I'll be like, I'm sorry, what's your name? Where did I meet you?
I'm sorry, sweetheart.
Oh, that night. Oh, it makes sense. I was probably blacked out then. Don't remember.
I used to do that to coaches in the MSL back when I coached both at Whitehall and Bexley. I'd see them in one like during the football season, and then I'd come back and track, and they're like, "Didn't we see you at Whitehall?" I was like, "Nah, that's my brother.
Nope.
He coached at Whitehall. I coached at Bexley."
It's my brother.
I mean, that's C-Mac when he was at SC and fucking Bexley. So
yeah, it's true.
Listen,
man, The thing is,
I can't claim mine. I can't claim my brother. I might go down for something I ain't do. I'm just playing. He doing great. He tattooing and he been moving and shaking.
He's been promoting this shit. We might have to get him back on. We'll have Chris back on. I have Chris back on.
He can't come back on before my next appointment.
Okay. Damn, Malcolm going hard on you right now, Cliff.
Fuck that nigga.
It's all because
I know they say to cut back black on black crime, but with him, it's okay. No, that's my nigga. I love my G.
He's about to get married, ain't he?
Yeah.
Less than a month away now, right?
16th or the weekend after the 16th. I don't know. I'm supposed to be there, so I should figure it out.
He's been. I'm glad he's over here. I know he's been going through some shit lately. So Malk, I know we talking shit about you, but we love you.
Man, he know. The more we talk, the more he know. If not,
true. If we didn't like him, we wouldn't talk about him at all.
If I ever stop talking about you, bro, that means don't call problem. Me no more. That's my nigga. I love my G.
Uncle David put you on blast in the chat. Actually, he's putting you and Uncle Dan in the blast.
What now?
So David's like, Uncle Dan used to let Cliff watch porn.
You know what? Why did I know? Why did I know?
That's what it was.
Why did I know he was going to say that? And why was I going to bust him out before? But I didn't want to be the Tekashi. It wasn't about it. It wasn't about him letting us find porn. We found the porn. And let me just say, Uncle Dan, same taste, my brother. I don't mind a little hair on the snare either. Just keep it out of the walkway.
Oh man. Oh,
shoot,
dude.
Fellas, I'm about to check out, shower, and get ready for the morning.
I mean, do what you got to do, man. Hey, if anybody in the chat is interested in jumping in and talking about the UFC here in the last probably 20, 25 minutes, hit me up on Messenger or whatever.
Yeah, do that.
C-Mac, glad to have you as always. Thanks for stopping by, checking in.
Matter of fact, hey, are y'all home next week, Reggie?
We should be, because we played them there last year, so we should be home.
Oh, bet. So put me on the list. We played Thursday now. I'll come to that game.
Well,
if you can.
I don't. Let me see, because I think for home games we were getting like 2 tickets. So if I can do that, I'll get it for you.
Oh wow, because Bexley gets 4 for home.
Well, players and coaches, I think, only get 2 for.
Sure.
And I mean, it's because Whitehall's been super conservative through this whole thing. Like, and I know Bexley has too, because my wife teaches there. But so if I can, I will. C-Mac, I'll put it to you that.
Bexley actually, has more complaining ass.
No shit. C-Mac, if you want to do the end zone camera, I can definitely get you in, because we have trouble finding somebody to do that shit.
Dude, I'm liable to leave early.
Well, that's the problem. Is the fucking soccer coach did the goddamn same thing.
Oh man, I'll think about it. I'll let you know though.
Yeah, hit me up. I'll do what I can. All right.
All right, fellas.
All right. Good seeing you, C-Mac.
Much love.
I think I'm gonna follow him too. I appreciate you guys letting me on.
I appreciate
anytime,
you
man.
dropping in, my G.
We like the
anytime,
food truck
man.
and stop by.
I'm gonna think of some stuff.
All right.
Listen.
Hey, anytime you want to come on and actually like have a topic to talk about, we could do that too.
Yeah, we could do a little pre-production shit.
All right.
I always just like hearing y'all giggle. That's how Cliff can start laughing. I start laughing. Then
listen,
I hear you.
Listen,
that's why I do the show.
God bless. I got an infectious laugh because
you do.
Listen, that's all I like to do. Stop you from crying.
No doubt.
I hear you. All right, fellas, stay up.
All right, take it easy, Shane.
Much love, bro.
All right, so we are still going. We've got, I I mean, we still got a fair number of people watching live, so we want to get into this UFC talk just to wrap it up because that was one of our topics and we haven't hit it after 2 hours.
Well, I knew we were, you know what I mean? But the question was, is Malcolm in there?
Malcolm's in the chat. He said he wanted to hop on after the after.
Okay.
Hop in for the
after. Okay, that's
show.
cool. Because, yeah, it'd be best that we have our conversation after anyway.
All right.
But what I will say is, Malcolm, if you are still in the chat, grab a pen and a pad, or at least open up Notepad on your iPhone. Because there's going to be some easy wins in this card.
And now, we are talking now UFC 23, or 253, sorry.
I said 53, yeah.
Right, 253. So we both, between the two of us, we got it.
Well, I was hoping that I was keeping your 2 and adding the 50, but I probably wasn't. So,
it's
yeah, between the two of us,
we got it.
How many Polacks does it take? No, I'm just I just heard that joke on a podcast. That's why I said that. But if you want to cancel me, feel free. But the Israel Adesanya Paulo Costa fight, for those who do not know, this is one that's been in the making for at least the past 4 years.
Like, they've kind of come up together, right? Like, that's what happened.
Well, Paulo Costa was a little before
okay.
Israel, probably like a year and a half.
All right, but in terms of UFC, when you're only fighting twice a year, at most twice a year.
Right. Now, the thing is, Paulo Costa got, for those in the nobody knows, I was about to compare it to something, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
He kind of got, Paulo Costa kind of got placed into a position. You know what I mean? Like, at that specific point in time, there wasn't much there dominating his division.
Gotcha.
So he took off quick. Not taking anything away from the man's skills. I'm not taking anything away from that. But somewhat to what you were saying, that they were close enough.
Right.
Israel always felt like, I got your number, but nobody's giving me the shot. For whatever the case may be, that may be getting off the bus and being down 14. I don't know what the case
Same idea.
may be.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it is. And the comparison I was going to give it to was Vasily Lomachenko.
Okay.
The boxer right now, which is an absolute excellent boxer, but is also the great white hype.
Okay.
You know how it is.
Yeah,
once you find one that you know is great, you put everything behind him and you set him up for greatness.
It's a guy that you hope can carry the name for the promotion to draw,
right,
to make,
while
to be a draw.
Some people deserve it, but they can't get that shot. So that's what this is. So he's been asking for this fight for about 4 years now. Now, 2 of the 4 years are understandable because Israel Adesanya did not have a belt. So why would this man, who's on the top of his division, take a fight with somebody that he knows is strong,
right,
but does not have anything to win from? So that's nothing to Paulo Costa. I understand that completely. But then 2 years later, he gets his belt, continues to call you out, and you've stalled him out. Now we finally have the fight. The only reason why I say this is a guaranteed win for Izzy,
and I agree with you, by the way.
Right, is because if anybody knows UFC, that Israel Adesanya Kelvin Gastelum fight was the most I've ever seen anyone pushed in a fight. That was a war. It clearly lets you know I'm not getting knocked out.
Right.
I'm going to keep fighting, period.
Nothing you can do will hold me down. Right.
Right. I don't think Paulo Costa has Kelvin Gastelum power. Now he does have more. He has more tricks up his sleeve. So if Adesanya gets hit with like a trick, like a card, then that's something completely different, like a spinning back fist or
so
like a.
Comparatively, Costa's got a little bit more in the tank in terms
he has
of
more
creativity.
Flair.
Or
he has more flair than Gastelum.
He's got more tools in the toolbox.
Exactly, but I don't know that he has more drive, more raw power. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel like if Izzy could withstand that storm, I don't see anything Paulo Costa can do to him within the time that he has to do to him that would stop him. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. Well, and I mean, it's what's interesting is that Adesanya has, and I'm just looking at kind of by the numbers, right, on the ESPN.
He has to beat him on the ground. Adesanya does not have a good takedown percentage.
Adesanya is also somebody that goes the distance more often than not. His average fight time is 15 plus, is almost 16 minutes, which means all of his 3-round fights go the distance, and a couple of the 5-round fights go farther.
You know how much I was following UFC back in the day when John Jones was in there.
Yeah.
I think Izzy can beat John Jones.
Okay.
That's what he said his next fight was.
It's interesting you talk about that because the light heavyweight is a little bit dictated because of John Jones, right? So.
Well, that's what he said his next fight was. He said if he beats this, a while ago, he said, I don't know if he still feels this way. He says if he gets Paulo Costa, his next target is John Jones. He said,
which means Adesanya at this point would have to go up 2 weight classes because the whole reason Jones vacated the
title, going to heavy.
Because he's going to
that
heavy.
Wouldn't happen.
Right.
That would never happen.
Unless
Adesanya
they met
would not
back
go to
in
heavy.
light heavyweight, right?
Right. Now, but Jones has been lifting weights too, so I don't see him going back to light heavy. So I feel like this is one of those legendary matches that will never get made.
Right. Jones at this point has probably decided, like, I can't continue to run at X weight.
Right.
I'm going to run at heavyweight.
You get older.
Right.
You get older. I mean, Izzy's kind of older himself. Not older, but he's like 27, 28. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to start putting on pounds, too. I just don't see them meeting in the middle ever.
Yeah, no, and I'm kind of with you.
Unless John's willing to do it now, it's never going to happen.
Right, and at this point, he's basically, by vacating the title, like, why would he? And he's flat out said, like, he wasn't interested in doing, like,
and you know what's interesting?
Leaving the light heavyweight division with fucking interim titles and that shit. Like,
and you know what's interesting? With boxing fans, that would be considered a duck.
But in the UFC, he's basically saying,
it's
no,
not the same.
I want to step up to heavyweight. And
I can't make this anymore. I just have to.
Right.
I have to do this. But in boxing, that would be considered a duck because they'd be like, well, you just made it just your last fight. Are you saying you don't want to do it again or you can't do it again?
Right. But I think the flip side of it is Jones has proven that he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Jones is going to go down as the best MMA fighter in history.
Right. He's going to be up
even
there with,
even over Israel. Right now, Jones is Jordan. Israel is LeBron. And even with what Israel is going to accomplish in the next 5 years, he won't match John Jones.
Well, because
He'll only match John if he beats John.
Right. And Izzy's what in terms of age?
27, 28.
Okay, so he's still...
He's still got about 5 years, I guarantee, because he doesn't take a lot of damage. He did in that Kelvin Gastelum fight.
Right.
But he doesn't take... He's a pop shotter. He's not trying to kill you. He's just trying to make you look dumb.
And looking at his stats, like, he's definitely a smart fighter.
He's an amazingly smart fighter.
He doesn't take a lot of shots, but he also...
And he doesn't get taken
fine to
down.
Draw it out. Right. Exactly.
That's the most important thing. He doesn't get taken down to get ground and pounded. You're not gonna beat that man on his feet. I've with me seeing fighting, I haven't seen a fighter in MMA that would be able to stand with him on the feet. Now I know fighters in boxing that can.
Yeah.
But you're also taking away the fact that he can take you down.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's what a lot of people don't know is Izzy was a professional boxer before he was a professional kickboxer, before he was a professional UFC fighter. Yeah. And he was amazing in everything he did. So it's like you got a rough.
So really he was just trying to I think what's interesting is that Costa's got the advantage in terms of like strikes per minute and knockdowns per minute, but outside of that, like it's Adesanya the whole way.
You know what though? The only reason that Costa has strikes per minute and all that is because of who you fought.
Okay.
Like I said, he has tools.
I don't know enough about his history on that. So
he has tools in his toolbox, right? Like I said.
Different ways
so when you're fighting someone that's just not as skilled as you, you're going to be able to get some of those tools off that they're not expecting you to use.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people are like, what is a wrench?
Right.
You know what I mean? And you're hitting them with it right as they say that. Yeah, that's what Paulo Costa. Now you're dealing with an Izzy that's like, tools? What do you mean? I've been boxing, kickboxing, MMA fighting, wrestling. I got tools.
My whole career.
What are you saying? So it just like he puts that fucking screwdriver in that screw, it's stripped. Try again. What are you gonna do now once that screw's stripped? Can't keep turning.
Right.
I don't think he's good enough to adapt on the fly to compete with Adesanya. Now, what's even more interesting, and before I say that, is there's a deal on not DraftKings. Did you hear about it, Mike?
No.
The $1 deal?
No.
You got to be in the states that accept, but right now it's a promotion. I can't think of what it might be DraftKings.
Well, I think it is DraftKings because I think Malcolm was talking about it in the chat.
If you bet $1 on either fighter and you win, their promotion is you win 100.
That's crazy.
So if you're a first-time bettor and you bet $1 on one of these fighters and the fighter wins,
all right. So I'm downloading this now and betting on Adesanya.
Well, the thing is, you can't do it from here because Ohio's not legally a gambling.
Oh, gotcha.
But guess who he is?
Who's that?
Indiana.
Oh, and Malcolm said he's in Indiana for the weekend.
Right.
Oh, man. All right, so Malk's going to do that. This is going to be a nice little wedding present. little one.
Right, we'll figure some things out, but the more interesting fight I want to say is beyond that, just because, we spent too much time and I was given history.
Yeah.
But you need the history to make your decision. Dominic Reyes in that, what is it?
Blachowicz?
Yeah.
Listen,
Dominic
Polish.
Reyes was the one that gave John Jones his hardest fight.
Well, and that's what honestly, that's even what the preview says, is that a lot of people think he beat Jones.
Right. Well, I could see it, like, we had that conversation. I said I could see it going either way, but you didn't take the belt from the champion. And
that goes back to our, if there is a champion, you have to beat the champion.
You have to take the belt.
Right.
You have to take the belt. You can't just tie and think you're going to get it. So I understand that.
And honestly, Blachowicz is almost 40.
But he's not a chump.
I'm not saying he is, but
it seems like a toss-up fight.
Yeah.
It seems like Dana White gave Reyes a tune-up just to get back in the swing of, like, kind of to entice Jones to stay in for the money. You know what I mean?
Right, to stay in the light heavyweight division.
Yeah, like stay around for the money. I'll entice you with a rematch. This rematch will be with better, you know what I mean, a better deal. See how you feel about it.
But I mean, at the same time, this match is, like, to our point last week, right? This is a match for a vacated title. So even if Reyes wins, which I'm with you, I think Reyes is lock.
It's a lock.
I think Reyes wins, and that's honestly why I'm okay with the fact that we're not watching these, because I'm with you. Like, I think the two main events
all of them are
locks.
kind of locks. Now the only reason why I'm interested in seeing the Paulo Costa Izzy fight is the same reason why black folks wanted to see the Tyrone Woodley Kobe Covington fight.
Okay.
Because Kobe Covington created a character that made black people not like him. Now, I'm not saying Paulo Costa did the same thing, but his demeanor, you know what I mean? Like, his demeanor is that pretty, you can't touch me kind of, you know what I mean? Kind of fighter. And Izzy is the one that's, I'm hungry, I want it. You're not giving it to me, I want it. It's my opportunity for it. So I feel like culturally, you kind of lean towards Izzy, not so much tribalism, because you know me. Comes down to it, I'm a fighter. I'm going to pick fight-wise, not tribalistically. Yeah. I'm going to pick fight-wise.
Yeah.
But a lot of people ride with that tribalistic shit. So I feel like it's going to be a lot of people rooting for Izzy more so than, and neither one of them are from the United States.
Right.
Izzy's from Australia. Well, Izzy's really from Nigeria by way of Australia. Paulo Costa's from Brazil. So I could still see the American fighter rooting for Paulo Costa.
I could see that. I mean, but
even though he don't speak English.
Right. But at the end of the day, like, I'm with you. I think Adesanya and Reyes both win, and I think they both win handedly. At minimum by universal decision.
By unanimous
decision. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I agree with you 100%.
So I mean, this is really, I think what this ends up being is more set up for something down the line.
Right.
On both sides.
The other one is that what is that?
Is
Kai France and Brandon Royal. It's no big ones. I think Brandon Royal got that. That's a easy win. That may be I won't say easy. But I'll say that he may be the B side in this fight.
Gotcha.
So you may end up betting 100 to get 2 or 3. You know what I mean? Like you may there may be odds on that. I haven't seen the odds on that, but I would go with Royal on that. I don't know the women's bantamweight, to be honest, so I'm not going to speak on that. Yeah,
so,
I can't speak on
question.
I can't speak on the. Oh yeah, no, the flyweight. I'm going with Turkov.
Okay. So
yeah, flyweight. I'm going with Turkov.
Is this the first?
But I know him a little more than the other dude, so I don't want to take away from the other dude. That's not a.
Gotcha.
That's not
it's
my
just
fight
who you,
prediction.
That's who you know. That's who you know. So, is this the second, like, full blown pay-per-view on Fight Island, or is this the first one?
Well, you said full blown pay-per-view.
Like a true, like I mean,
right,
they've got two title fights on this card. Like,
right, like
even though you and I both believe that both of those title fights are locked matches,
right?
Is this the first pay-per-view that they've had Fight Island where they've had at least a title, if not 2 titles on the line?
First of this caliber.
Okay. So maybe that's all.
Not the first with more than one title, but the first with more than one title of people this well known.
Basically, middleweight and above.
Right. From your perspective, yeah.
Right, for me. So maybe that's what it is. Is maybe this is more about a trial run in terms of Fight Island and doing the pay-per-views and that kind of shit.
It's funny. It's funny that you brought that up because. Well, you know me, I follow boxing a lot more.
Right. And honestly, like, I used to follow UFC big back in, like, the St. Pierre.
I did too.
The GSP, Matt Hughes.
Oh, I followed it even beyond that, up until TJ Dillashaw was the
so you folled it longer than I did. I kind of fell off after college. But
I probably got 23 UFC pay-per-view DVDs under my TV right now. I got hella shit. But that's only because they didn't sell boxing ones like that too.
Right.
And at the time I was training a UFC fighter, so I was trying to get.
Well, I mean, ultimately, I think you and I have both talked about, like, I want UFC to do the WWE Network thing. Let me pay $10 a month. I get the library plus the pay-per-views.
I would do that.
Or give me, or even make it 15 a month, and I'll do that.
I would do that.
Right.
You could make it 17. I'd do that. I wouldn't do more than 20.
Right. You could make it maybe up to 20, and I would do it. But
I would do 20.
But that's because an individual pay-per-view is $60. Like.
And then beyond that, UFC comes out with new UFCs every other month.
Right.
Every other month. And that's like holding out. Sometimes every month.
Right. So if you were
paying
$15-$20 a month, like, you're probably ending up, if you were buying all the fights, you're probably ending up close to even.
I think that's what they were trying to do with the Zone, and they fucked it up with that Canelo Alvarez contract.
Yeah.
They paid him $300 million, and well, they didn't pay it to him. He's in court right now.
Right.
He was supposed to get 3 fights a year at $35 a fight for 3 years. And well, no, I think it was only 6 fights.
Either way, though, like the
But he didn't get his fights. He hasn't gotten one fight yet. So now they're saying the zone's gonna fall because Canelo's gonna win this lawsuit. Now what they did was they tried to play him on the first go round, saying that I think something like he wasn't even a legal citizen.
So
they were throwing that right. So they were throwing not that the contract was void, but they were throwing that court case out of like Supreme Court or whatever the court was because he wasn't a citizen.
To fight for
right.
Rights.
I said, oh yeah, they're trying to fuck
dirty.
him.
That's dirty.
Yeah, and he's going through that now, and he's gonna win it because you didn't uphold your end of the bargain.
Right.
He was supposed to have 3 fights a year. You didn't give him 1 in a whole year. What's the problem?
Yep. All right, man. We are at about 2:15. You know what? We're ending it early enough that I will open up the post show. So anybody that wants to join us for the post show, you got my cell phone number. Password is lowercase fools. Feel free to join us, Cliff, as long as you're up for it. As long as you're up for it,
I'm in there.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show here. I'll open up the Zoom, and then I'm going to go take a piss.
I got a piss, too.
So we will join you here in the post-show Zoom here in a minute. Cliff, you got anything to take us out?
You know I love y'all motherfuckers, man. Stay open, stay strong. We're approaching some very volatile months coming up, and it's important that everybody keeps a strong head on their shoulders regardless of what they hope to happen. I don't care if you hope for Trump to win. I pray for you too. Just keep a good strong head on your shoulders. Be understanding because as we stated last week, nothing is ever as it seems. So understand that you got to look through the fucking shade to see the light sometimes. And if you're not one of those people that are willing to, no Vaseline, fuck you.
My man. All right, I'm with Cliff on that message. You know, if you're interested in one of these nice shirts, do us a donation, foolproof.live or streamlabs.com/foolproofentertainment. Shout out to Nico King for all this. Caught us a good deal on this, and we appreciate it. Outside of that, do us a favor, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. We're almost up to 50 subscribers on both Facebook and YouTube. If we can cross that 50, we can start going for the 100 mark. Appreciate all of you, and have a good weekend. You know, be safe out there. And as Cliff said, you know, as the next couple of months shake out, hold strong to your convictions. And that's all I'll say. And we love you. The fools are here for you, and we appreciate y'all. Take it easy.
Take it easy.